All right, so this is pretty interesting here. So this comes from Elizabeth Warren now. Bernie Sanders just emerged victorious in the New Hampshire primary by like a 1.7% margin-ish. And as you can see here, Amy Klobuchar definitely did much better than expectations. She came in at third with 19.83, which is pretty good actually. And Elizabeth Warren is at 9.26, a very pedestrian 9.26 of that. This is really embarrassing to hit a measly 9.26%. And she suffered a massive drop in the national polls as well as every state poll. She's coming in third, so she's not really anything interesting at this point. Her campaign is completely dead. All right, there's a really embarrassing story that I'll be covering for tomorrow as well. Only person who did worse is Joe Biden. He did even more embarrassingly. So Elizabeth Warren, of course, is getting desperate. All right, and she is trying to save her dumpster fire of a campaign by attacking the other candidates.
But the fight between factions in our party has taken a sharp turn in recent weeks, with ads mocking other candidates and with supporters of some candidates shouting curses at other Democratic candidates. These harsh tactics might work if you are willing to burn down the rest of the party in order to be the last man standing. They might work if you don't worry about leaving our party and our politics worse off than how you found it. And they might work if you think only you have all the answers and only you are the solution to all our problems.
So now, she's kind of taking a shot at what could be seen as like all the candidates, but really she's talking about one specific candidate, that being Bernie Sanders. She's talking about his supporters, obviously. She's talking about, Bernie supporters sending snake emojis. I'm one of them, by the way. I'm definitely part of the Bernie Brigade. Sending her snake emojis, sending Pete Buttigieg rat emojis. That is a really cool thing to do, And so her whole thing, and she released a memo about this, is I guess she's trying to be the unity candidate, and she's trying to stay in and be like the spoiler from letting Bernie get the nomination, and so she wants to swoop in as this unity candidate. Now, I don't know if she's noticing, but her campaign is literally dead, guys. It's over. It's done for. She's not projected to win any of the following states. Some people are trying to act as if she has support amongst African Americans. She doesn't. Some people are trying to act like she's going to do better after Iowa and New Hampshire. Nope, she's not. So she's going to continue being pedestrian. Her entire gig is over. She failed epically in trying to reach it. I think what happened was, all of her progressive supporters went over to Bernie after she backstabbed him. And then I think all of that centrist awe has all disappeared. And I think all of it went to Klobuchar and Buttigieg. And so her campaign has suffered extremely. And if you think that Elizabeth Warren is going to not suffer a dip in the polls because of her pedestrian 9.6% in fourth place, you're definitely mistaken. And so, honestly, the best thing that Elizabeth Warren can do, especially considering how desperate she is here, best thing she can just do is just drop out. That's honestly the best thing she can do, because her campaign is completely flailing in the wind. It's totally over, totally done for. She has no chance to win. She will not win. And it's getting so desperate now to where they can't even get volunteers at her events. I read a story about an event she had in New Hampshire where people from her event left early, and then they were trying so hard to get those people to be volunteers. They were literally following them to their cars and saying, somebody, anybody, can anybody be a volunteer? And it was it's so embarrassing. I'll be doing a story on that. But the Warren campaign is officially dead. Okay. A pedestrian fourth place. If anything, the candidate who really came out of this in terms of the centrists that look good, it's not Buttigieg, it's actually Klobuchar, because she actually outplayed, those numbers. And, if CNN and all the mainstream media outlets want to go and praise Klobuchar, I'm all for it, because that just splits the centrist vote even further. And Klobuchar is not really an overall threat, whereas Joe Biden kind of is. So, Elizabeth Warren, it's really embarrassing at this point. Just end it, dude. You're not a unity candidate. Nobody wants to vote for you. And this whole shtick that you're trying to pull out now is quite embarrassing. It's clearly this concocted plan amongst her elite group. And it's very embarrassing. I don't even know where she came up with this stuff.